Hi everyone, I'm Fox 35, Storm Team Meteorologist Ian Cassette with the latest on Beryl and the tropics. And we have an intensifying storm. The National Hurricane Center has had reconnaissance done this morning, and what they have found is this storm just continues to strengthen in the Atlantic. Now, this is an unprecedented system to have something this strong this early in the season. It is the earliest major hurricane we've had since 1966, and we've only had three major hurricanes in the month of June on record. You got to go back to Alma in 1966 for the last time we had that. But you look at the satellite imagery, and that eye wall is abundantly clear. It is a well-oiled machine at this point, and more intensification is expected according to the National Hurricane Center and everything I've seen from models. We've got very warm sea surface temperatures. They're at levels that you would typically see in August, and we're getting August, September-like results with this system. So things to know about this: it continues to rapidly intensify, and that language is important. Rapid intensification has to increase by 35 miles per hour in 24 hours, and it has had that, and it continues to show that strengthening, and is expected to become a dangerous Category 4 storm here likely later today and approach the Windward Islands, which remain under the gun here with life-threatening conditions expected for those Caribbean islands. So latest from the National Hurricane Center: 120 mile per hour sustained winds moving to the west at 21 miles per hour. The pressure has also dropped now to 964 millibars. As the pressure drops, the wind speed increases, and it has shown that every time they go back into it, it is continuing to drop pressure. So what is expected of the system is it's going to approach the islands by early Monday morning. This is going to be a rude awakening for them Monday morning. Barbados is just to the north of this system's path, but it is not a large system. It is a smaller, tighter system. That's also probably what has allowed it to intensify at this rate, but it is likely Grenada and also St. Vincent and the Grenadines that are in line to see the brunt of this storm as it reaches them by Monday morning. From there, it continues as a major hurricane through much of the Caribbean, though south of Puerto Rico, south of Hispaniola. They'll probably see tropical storm force winds there, maybe hurricane force gusts. And Jamaica and Cayman Islands also could see major hurricane impacts as we get into the middle to late part of the week. Now, as it gets farther west, most models indicate it's going to weaken as it runs into wind shear, and that would break it apart a little bit, but still maintaining a hurricane status as it reaches the Yucatan. Just to show you the rarity of this situation, Beryl being a major hurricane, only two other major hurricanes have formed in the month of June in the Atlantic on record. That's Audrey in 1957 and Alma in 66. So it is impressive to see something like this happen, but when we have unprecedented warmth in the Atlantic, these are the type of results that you can get. So the ocean heat content, that has allowed the storm to develop. It's got plenty of heat content ahead of it, but overall, the wind shear should make it weaker as it goes down the road. Now, look at our Fox model. It's showing that intense storm there Monday morning approaching the islands there into the afternoon with hurricane force wind, major hurricane force wind, I should add. By Monday afternoon, things will start to improve into Tuesday, and then it moves into the Caribbean south of Hispaniola. And it does show it starting to weaken some as it gets closer to Jamaica, which we could hope that if it does approach that island, that it only weakens further with the wind shear. You see the future wind shear, the red area being the stronger winds aloft. Storms don't like it. They don't like wind shear, and it kind of makes them a little bit more lopsided, so there is a more hostile environment, which is climatologically what you get this time of the year north of Venezuela, and that could end up weakening it some, but it is still expected to be a strong hurricane regardless, approaching the islands there south of Jamaica. Now, as you look at the spaghetti models, this is the latest runs. Most of them do indicate that it's probably going to continue westward into the Yucatan and then spit out somewhere into the Gulf of Mexico. From there, there's a lot of uncertainty. We really just don't know how this is going to play out. The high-pressure ridge should block it from Florida. I don't anticipate this heading towards Florida, but it may allow it to turn north if it weakens some towards Texas, but it is too soon to say for sure. Outside of Beryl, we also have potential for a tropical depression to form this weekend. It's got a very small window in the western Gulf of Mexico. That is only going to lead to rain. We also have potential for Chris to develop there east of Beryl. So we might have 1-2 punch here for the Lesser Antilles, something to watch for here later this week. You see it here with the model run showing you Beryl continuing to move westward, and then here comes Chris that will develop probably in the middle of next week, and that may approach the Lesser Antilles by the middle of the week. And from there, we'll have to watch where it moves. But there's a range of outcomes with Chris. But we have Beryl first on hand to talk about before we get to Chris. But we might have 2 major hurricanes here back to back. So hopefully that does not happen. But there is a lot to discuss here. And we'll have more to keep you up to date with. But we encourage you, if you know anyone in the Caribbean, keep checking in with updates. And for now, no threat to the lower 48. Texas, I would say, is probably the highest threat in terms of the long term, but I just don't think we're close enough to make that call just yet. But I'm Fox 35 Storm Team Meteorologist Ian Cassette. Encourage you to keep checking back in for updates here on the tropics. If you'd like to know more, we'll have more here to come later today. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Once again, Fox 35 Storm Team Meteorologist Ian Cassette.